Okie dokie. So this is our day. We ended down 669.
69.
Yeehaw. It's almost a good day. And boom, there you have it from the lady herself. We're down 669 today. Clearly not my best trading day, but man, the market was not giving us good opportunities today. And I think I made a bit of a mistake not trading PALT, which was yesterday's lead gapper. Pre-market, it had a decent little run. Everything after the pre-market, it wasn't really that great, but there was a good little pop to the upside. And I don't know, I was constantly looking for a new lead gapper. I think I maybe brought in too much, I guess, bias towards that, because sometimes the lead gapper from the day before ends up performing some of the best, or it has just a lot of eyes on it, so other tickers don't get the light of day. And I think that's maybe a little bit what happened today. So PALT, I didn't trade it, but let's actually start and talk about this one first. Here you have the big move yesterday. This is actually one of the tickers we made the most money on yesterday, even though I barely traded it. So today was more of like an engulfing candle day. So we had these highs here we weren't able to break yet, but decent volume. We're holding our highs pretty well. This is quite impressive. So it's been a multi-day runner here, and who knows? There's probably going to be another attempt here at 1502. I'll put an alert here, so if it does happen, I'll be sure to know if I'm not online. So let's see. Or once I'm documenting my trades, or I get an email basically. So let's see here on the trading screen what it actually looked like intraday, because intraday was a little bit choppy. No good clear setups. There was this one kind of big support line bounce where it ripped up 40%, but this was so unpredictable after I had two failed attempts that in my eyes, I think this is when I wrote in the Discord, like today, today's not trading, today's just taking shots in the dark, because that's really what it felt like today. But let's go forward here, because after this one, PALT reached those highs yesterday at 15.2, it pretty much sold off. And this is kind of what I was expecting and was talking about in my video, that it was going to have this big run, or it was in this big run. I didn't know if it was over here in the 11 area. I wasn't really expecting a big move to 15, but then again, nothing really surprises me. Even if it hit $60 yesterday, I would have not been necessarily surprised. I would have been excited. I would have been like, nice, good to see this kind of volume here. But I'm just saying it's hard to be surprised in the small cap world. But usually something that, runs up super quick doesn't hold its highs. And that's pretty much what happened with PALT. But we did hold our highs around 8. And let's actually go here to the 5 minutes to see this in full action a little bit better. Scroll this down. And I really like the amount of volume that came in today. So there's this key area right around here from $9 to $10. We came back right to this area, had a few bounces, and went a little bit lower to $8, and that's what I was just talking about. So here in this $8 zone, we really found a big support zone. And once we started popping back above higher in this area pre-market, there was another 20% pop or so that I should have been trading. And again, this is one of the few times I'm talking about a ticker that I didn't trade, because I really think this was worthwhile, because yesterday, like I said before, was the lead gapper today, yesterday's lead gapper was still one of the tickers that performed the best. And it's actually one of the tickers, if you see here on dollar volume, it has the most dollar volume right now on the top gainer. So it's the most traded ticker in the US markets. That's crazy. Okay, so let's go and talk about where I probably should have traded this one. And, it's so easy in hindsight to always talk about what you should have done. But let's just kind of zoom in here and kind of focus on where I should have started paying a lot more attention to it. So it did pop up here, and I think once it started having a decent amount of volume, new volume coming in, this should have been a big wake-up call. And this was around 757 where those first volume candles started popping in. If I didn't trade any of this, I think that would have been fine. But I think once it broke out from this like 920 big resistance zone, because if you remember here, this 9 zone was significant. This is where we had that final capitulation, and we even had a retest of this area. So this is a good breakout. This is a new front side move here. So that's why I'm saying I should have been a little bit more focused to it. So we had a nice little rally here, 12%. I could have been getting aggressive on any one of these candles. I should have been getting aggressive into these pullbacks, maybe scalping it, but maybe looking for continuation. I should have been getting aggressive on this breakout, any of these pullbacks, and I should have just rode it as long as possible until I eventually started giving back profits, or it just felt like it was extended, because we had this move to 11.5, which if you go back to the daily, you can see this is a key zone, this 11.5 zone. So So we got close to it. We didn't reach it, but we got close to it. So when we broke this $9 area, we pretty much had room to run to 11.5. That was a 26% profit. I could have made all my money there and walked away. So I think that was my big mistake today, and that's why I'm talking about it in this video. Even though I didn't trade this ticker per se, I think it's so important to talk about the lead gapper from the day before that ends up actually being the most traded ticker the next day. So after that, I mean, this halt was tough to jump into. It happened so quick. It even opened at 13, quickly pulled back, and then moved higher again. And then I don't know how I would have traded this, but this was very choppy. It kind of looks like a little bit of a head and shoulders pattern, then just sells off. Decent support in this area. Maybe I should have bought it here as it was breaking 11.5 with low volume. That should have been an indicator for a potential buy. I remember watching this, but I never traded any of it. So yeah, I think today I was having a hard time getting aggressive, because the one time I did get aggressive today, I really got smacked in the face, and that was with CLEU. So let's talk about this ticker next. This was a Chinese ticker, and usually I'm quite weary about trading Chinese tickers. And every time, I do trade them, I typically get reminded about why I am weary about trading these tickers. Anyway, Colby called this one out right by saying, "Don't trade this one." He was already traumatized. But you see, I've traded this one multiple times in the past, and it usually has these failed spikes to the upside, which isn't the worst. Sometimes I trade failed spikes to the upside very well. I think I already forgot the name of the ticker, but it happened earlier. I think, yeah, SNOA. This is a ticker that I'm up extremely high on based on my average size, and this ticker always has these failed spikes to the upside. But what I do is I realize that, and I'm trading that front side rally, and then I don't trade it at the open. So with CLEU, I think I had maybe a little bit of that mentality, but for some reason, I decided to trade this one at the open. So I had this really quick front side move. I didn't have time to jump on this one. It happened so fast. I ended up trading a morning panic move here. It was down like 8%. With not like big size, but like half size. My big size is like $25,000, and half size was like, at this point, it looks like I was eventually long 5,000 shares at 2.48. So we're talking about $12,400 more or less. I was long this one, so kind of like a higher half size. Anyway, this one ended up still flushing, and I took one of my biggest percentage losers on this one, almost like a 10% loss on this one. And just like that, boom, I was slightly green on the day with CTEK and FAMI pre-market trading, and just like that, I was down quite a bit. I was almost stopped out for the day, and then I made back some profits on some of these tickers as well. So let's go ahead and review these other ones. But yeah, CLEU, I'm really defensive when it comes to trading tickers that are popping up right away until they've proven to hold at least one pullback. And sometimes when I don't do that for a long period of time, sometimes I'll see a ticker popping up and I'll decide to trade it. And, if I was quicker to trade this one, take my profits quickly and walk away, it would have been better. But I bought that first pullback that I usually don't trade, and whack, I got hit pretty hard on that one. So that kind of sucked. For some reason, I wasn't really bummed out about it. I was just kind of like disappointed in the stock itself. Like I wasn't like, oh, I just lost money. I think at this part, I'm a little bit numb to losing money. Of course, it like still bothers me, but I was more just like upset. I was like, oh, come on, another day where we're just having stocks spiking up and failing. Yesterday, I traded 8 tickers. That was, I think, the most tickers I've ever traded in one day. Usually, I'm like between 1 and 3, and it was just very disappointing. And I think with CLEU, I was just like again like a disappointed parent. I felt like oh, come on. You can do better than this to the stock, not necessarily to me, AMTX, because I'm going to trade what moves. All right, so AMTX, let's talk about this one, the next ticker. Not the next ticker that I traded, just like the next one that I'm down the most on. Where is this one? So on the daily chart, we had a spike up here, big continuation on this one, big front side move, and slow me today. I don't know what's going on, but pops above the VWAP. I should have been trading this move here about 6%. I traded this pullback, but we didn't have that continuation, and boom, took another loss. But it's good that I cut my losses here on this one, because look at that backside move was pretty nasty. All right, so PROG, next ticker. I am slightly up on this one, $32. So big moves there. Today, this is the last day of the month too. It's a Thursday, last day of September, September 30th. Tomorrow's October, beginning of a new month. And the last 2 days, I just gave back profits off my highs. We'll talk about how much money I made in September in the recap coming out in the next few days. So definitely subscribe if you guys haven't done so, because I'll be diving into all my statistics on the recaps. And if you are interested in learning more about this, there's two things about my trading strategy. There's really two things that you can do right now. The first one is going to tradejournal.co/connect, or just clicking on this connect button and then following these steps. First, step one, obviously create an account on TradeJournal, because then you can see my whole portfolio. You can review my trades with me. And then number two, and you can do that for free, join the Discord to get active. This is where we're hanging out all day. We got 113 users online right now, over 1,000 users total. So that's just a lot of activity for a relatively small community. And then step three, pick a mentor or class. If you guys are interested, I have a whole entire free foundation series for my day trading small cap stocks right here. You can do the whole thing in 1 to 2 hours. And I just wanted to share that because it's totally free. You don't have to pay for anything. And sometimes I just feel like, especially on YouTube, there's so much shady stuff in the finance community. So that's why I decided just to make everything free and very transparent, just to create a little bit of contrast to the typical shade that we constantly see in the finance world. Because honestly, trading and investing is really simple. If I could do my part to make it more accessible to everyone, that makes me really happy. Now, I did mention 2 things. I already talked about 3 things, but the 4th thing that I really wanted to mention is just going to our YouTube channel and checking out our monthly recaps, because those monthly recaps, ever since we started streaming around 2 years ago, I did a monthly recap, so you can see the progression every single month and me talking about the biggest changes that happened to my trading style and all the key lessons that I learned. All right, and I just double checked the monthly recap playlist, and actually I started in June 2020. So I think I started this streaming and everything in November 2019. So there are a few, I guess, monthly recaps technically missing, but at least you're getting it when it's starting to get a little bit better. I think that's also quite important. Anyway, that's all the recaps here. So it'll take a little bit of time, but if you go through all of these recaps, you will be so caught up, it's not even funny. So if you want to dedicate the time and you don't want to pay $3,000 for a program, watch these recaps, and I guarantee you, you will get more than enough information to get started and get you consistently profitable quicker. Okay, now let's get back on topic with PROG. Let's go to the daily chart on this one. And PROG, big resistance here, and we are slamming into that. We got the 180-day simple moving average showing it's a downwards trending ticker, so not that much front side potential. If you don't know what I mean by that, check out yesterday's video, because we dived into the 180-day simple moving average extensively, so I'm not going to discuss it much more right now, but so huge resistance on PROG. We did know that, and I don't think I was trading this one pre-market. No, this was a market open ticker that I traded as it started having a little bit more action here in this area, but you know, look at this, no trades here. I started trading it when it broke out of this area. I bought that first pullback looking for continuation. Again, another failed ticker, closed out here, and then I had a small little bounce trade here, made some profit, but other than that, nothing really too exciting on PROG. Yeah, just another failed stock. GROM, let's go to this one. This is actually still one of the highest traded tickers on the market right now. Big 2 days, but also an engulfing candle, just like we saw with PALT. So yeah, big resistance there. Let's actually map out this zone. This seems like to be quite critical area, and then maybe a little bit more of a support area in here as well, because this is where we had that initial IPO, I think it was, unless it was the DPO. We had some retests in this area, some bounces, retest, and then we actually had a close here as well. So kind of a significant zone. Let's zoom in a little bit again. And we are breaking above this $4 zone, which on the daily is right in the middle of both those two lines. And this is where I started trading it on this pullback, looking for continuation. And we actually did. I did kind of okay on this one. I definitely sold a little bit too soon. And I didn't have decent size, so very small position size. But it was a nice percentage winner. So I can't really complain there. But look at it. Right away, it flushes 11%. So it really sums up what we've been seeing a lot lately. A lot of these failed breakouts. Made a little $80 on that, mainly because my position size wasn't big enough. And 2, I just didn't ride that breakout long enough. But you saw it flush right away. So now you know also why I haven't really been holding a lot of these tickers long enough. Okay, FAMI up 170 on this one. FAMI. Let's see what this ticker is up to. Start with the daily always. Yeah, 180-day simple moving average resistance here and big resistance in this area as well. So that's not looking too promising. On the 5-minute, you can see we've been stuck below this area the whole time. It looks like I traded this ticker at the open. So let's kind of scroll back here a little bit. And yeah, so had a bit of a morning panic, red to green move, popped higher. I bought that first pullback, sold right away, probably because I didn't have the chill to keep holding, and it ends up flushing. Yeah, just kind of the classic stuff we've been seeing today. And then CTEK, the ticker I'm up the most, and actually I was not even excited about this ticker. You know, pre-market on the daily chart looks like an absolute disaster. Didn't even have really room to run. Let's check this one out on the daily. You'll see pre-market it had a little bit of a spike, but instantly faded. So quick move here. Let's see. This was like a 46% move. Had a strong pullback. This pullback kind of geeked me out a little bit. 18% was very strong. I bought this first move here, sold right away. Bought this move, trying to take some profits. It failed. Bought again. It failed. And then I just walked away. And I was like, okay, CTEK, that kind of sucked. I did make some money off of it, but this is probably going to be the worst stock, you know, we saw today. So like that's the ticker I'm up on the most was literally the ticker that I was already the most disappointed on. And I guess that kind of action was set forth by that first CTEK lead gapper, just instantly failed. So everything else seemed to be failing the rest of the day, and it was a tough trading day. Again, I think the way I could have really been green was be focusing on yesterday's lead gapper, especially because today didn't really have its own. So PALT, there was a lot more focus on that one in the overall market. There still is, based on how much it's being traded. So that's what I should have been focused on today as well. And I think that was really my big mistake. Also chasing CLEU, a ticker that totally went against my rules, just popping up for the first time. So I should have been a little bit more cautious there. But there was such a little small amount of stuff moving that I figured, okay, this could be actually the ticker that ends up moving. So I don't know. I guess I psyched myself out a little bit too much today. Anyway, guys, that's all for this recap. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to drop a like on the way out. Easiest way to support the channel. Consider subscribing if you're new. And like always, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.